Hey guys, in this video we're going to look at the surface area and the volume of spheres. I'm not going to show you where these come from. If you're doing your GCSE, you don't need to worry about where they come from, you just need to be able to use them. So here I've got a sphere, it's like a football, and the radius here is the distance from the outside to the very center. Okay, just like a circle, but like a 3D circle. So the total volume of a sphere is given to you by doing 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by whatever the radius is cubed. The surface area of a sphere is given to you by 4 multiplied by pi multiplied by whatever the radius is squared. So we're going to try and substitute in basically values for r here and work out what the answers are. So you could have a quick go now and pause the video, and then I'll go through it in a second. Okay, so for the first one, the volume is going to be given to us by 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius cubed. So that's 3 cubed. I'm going to type this in my calculator, so it helps if you've got a scientific calculator because you can write it exactly how it looks there, and you need to know how to use the pi button. So on my calculator I have to press shift and then find it on the calculator to get my pi button. So this is 36, oops, this is 36 pi, or as a decimal, 113 meters cubed, because it's a volume now, isn't it? And that there, I've rounded that to 3 significant figures. Okay, now for surface area, that is given to us by 4 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius squared, so that's 3 squared. So if I do that on my calculator, I also get 36 pi again. So as a decimal, that rounds to that. This time though it's meters squared, isn't it? Because it is an area. Okay. Right, the next one. We've got here a volume. So again, the volume is given to us by 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed, so that now is 5 cubed. So 4/3 on my calculator times by pi times it by 5 cubed, and we get an answer of, if I round this, 523.6 centimeters cubed, and here I've rounded it to 1 decimal place. The surface area, so we're going to do 4 times pi times the radius squared, so times 5 squared, so 4 times pi times 5 squared. That gives me 100 pi, or if I round that, 314.2 centimeters squared, and here I've rounded that again to 1 decimal place. And then for the last question here, we've got a radius of 4, so the same thing again. So volume is given to us by 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 4 cubed. So pop that in my calculator. That gives me, when I round it, that gives me 268.08 millimeters cubed. That's if I round it to 2 decimal places. And then finally, surface area. So surface area is given to us by 4 times pi times the radius squared. So here it's 4 squared. Pop that in my calculator. That gives me 201.06 millimeters squared. and that again is rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, so spheres, we just need to be aware of these formulas, and we need to be able to substitute in a radius to work out what the volumes or the surface areas are. Okay, in the hard questions, they might give you a volume, they might give you a surface area, and then you've got to form an equation and then solve it. That'll be for the slightly harder questions.